How to Sing Child in Time by Deep Purple. Hey gang, Ken Tamplin from Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof continues to be in the actual singing. Now, I've done a version of this song myself. I will put it in the description so you can see how I did. And it's the template that we're going to use to negotiate and go through how to learn the song, okay? Now, I'm going to play the first verse first. I'll do it, line at a time. And we'll just go from there. Of course, the vocalist is Gillan. And let's rock. Here we go.
Sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between good and bad.
Cool. Now, one of the things about this that is interesting for me as I was going through it was I remember it being a little more aggressive, especially in the verses, and it's not. It's actually really subtle and really gentle and fragile, and it's probably because of the lyric. Now, it's ironic too. The first line is "sweet child in time," kind of sounds a lot like "sweet child of mine." Anyway, I don't know if that was meant to be that way or not, but anyway, but I want to walk you through. So, sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and bad. So hear how gentle I am on this. I'm not going, sweet child in time. There's very little force or very little aggression to it at all. And it's because he wants to whisper in your ear to give you intrigue, to make you want to kind of strain to listen to it. So I want you to do this with me. It almost kind of teeters on being somewhere between chest and head and mixed voice almost the whole song until you get to the real high stuff and it's all head voice. But so do it with me, just sweet child in time. Go ahead and add some air to it instead of sweet child in time. Don't be really aggressive. Don't be really bright. Don't use a lot of bright timbre on the sound. So do it real simple and gentle and keep it kind of straight. There's not a lot of blues in it. It's very theatrical, kind of like when you did Jesus Christ Superstar. So anyway, sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and bad. Okay, let's do that. Now let's move on to the next thing. He kind of leans into the sound a little bit more here.
See the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying or taking toll.
Okay, so let's stop there. So now this time he kind of leans in a little bit to kind of snap you to get your attention. So the first time, sweet child of mine, do you see the line that's drawn between good and bad, right? And then, see the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying or taking toll, right? So it's kind of like an ebb and flow. We kind of get a little louder, we pull it back, get a little louder, we pull it back. And this ebb and flow he uses masterfully to create emotion, to draw you in, to not make you bored, but to really listen to what he's saying. So try it with me. Go. And lean in a little bit, get your diaphragm working. Okay, guys, if you don't know how to use your diaphragm, you get on my channel. I'll put it in the description again. Ken Tamplin's diaphragmatic support, so you get some strength here. So, see the blind man. And by the way, he's really bright on the sound, and he really enunciates his words. It's not, see the blind man shooting at the world, bullets fly. He doesn't do that. He's very articulate. So let's do it together. See the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying or taking toll, right? So again, he leans in and he pulls back, all right? Let's do the next phrase. Here we go.
If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have.
Cool. Now, again, he leans into, so, if you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, Oh, by flying lead. Now, I know he sings the notes a little bit differently, but I'm trying to give you kind of the mean average of everything because it's really hard to get a lot of his gesticulation. Because if you listen to I kind of use the old TV version of this when I went to go do my version, and it's not really on any actual rhythm. So it's very free in the whole thing as far as the rhythm's concerned. So just do the best you can. Try to get the notes, but I didn't go like lid. I go So F, you've been ba, Lord, I bet you have. So watch. Instead, I didn't do that. It pinches in the throat. So I go If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have. And you've not been hit, oh, by flying lead. And he does a little church of flying lead, right? Again, to build drama, to make it really dramatic. And then let's move on to the next phrase. So practice that. Let's do it one more time. So kind of throw that H in if, so you don't get caught in it. So if you've been bad, another H on the O. Oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, oh, by flying lead, right? And so I kind of play with a little bit. I sang the melody a little better in the recording. And go check it out, juxtapose his with mine, compare the two and see how I did. Let's move on to the next phrase. Here we go. Oops, went back too far. Hold on.
If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, oh, by flying lead.
Here we go.
You better close your eyes. Oh, bow your head. Wait for the ricochet.
Now, what's really kind of interesting to me about all this is it's not like writing a normal song. It's like writing a play or writing a theatrical play, right, on Broadway or something. So there's no real kind of singer-songwriter-y kind of thing you can sink your teeth into. You just kind of have to do it like he did or find your own path, whatever that is. But I want to, you better close your eyes. Just do that line. Ya, better, cla, ya, ah. Those are my vowels. You better close your eyes. Oh. Just do that. Oh. That's all falsetto. That's all reinforced falsetto. Now, the coolest part about it, if you really listen to the original, it doesn't really sound like falsetto. It sounds like he's pulling chest or a lot of mix-up in the sound. He does mix the sound when he comes down. Oh, bow your head. Wait for the ricochet. So as he comes, oh, bow your head. Right in there. Oh, bow. Oh, bow. Oh, bow. So you can throw a little H in to get into your mixed voice, coming back down, connecting the sound so you don't hear a yodel or the speed bump, as I call it in my singing course. By the way, you guys, if you're interested, I have a singing course. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where I show you how to get into mixed voice and chest voice and all these different tones and stuff. And it'll really help you out a lot to really negotiate to getting these things in these sounds. So bow your head, wait for the ricochet. All right, and he's real airy and real light. So wait for the ricochet. Now, let me get real close. Wait for the ricochet. So let me do this for you from the top. So, because I want you to hear the presence of the microphone instead of being so far away. A sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and bad. I see the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying or taking toll. If you've been bad, oh Lord, I bet you have, and you've not been hit, oh, Oh, by flying lead, you better close your eyes. Oh, bow your head. Wait for the ricochet. Right, so he's real melodramatic on it. And I just wanted to do it end to end because a lot of people say, oh, you're not really singing that. You're in too good a pitch, or the microphone changes and 1 minute you sound like you're really present, the next minute you're far away. Come on, guys, really? Get a grip. Anyway, so let's go to the next section. Here we go, the ooh-oohs. Some of these are harder than others. By the way, this is my first song of the day. I haven't even warmed up yet. So I've not even warmed up my voice. Shame on me. I always tell you guys, warm up first. I haven't, because this tune, I didn't want to have too much gnarly grit and distortion in the sound, because he's really, like I said, real lyric, as they say it, real lyrical on it. So I don't want to be too singery, sing-songy on it. I want it to be a very Broadway, like the way he did it. Here we go. Let's just do this together. Now, if you are looking to get your head voice to match the tonal qualities of your chest voice, to have this kind of presence, brightness, get away from that hooty fluty kind of sound, you got to work on it. I have a whole section in my singing course about head voice, and there's a lot to it. It's not just doing a couple vowels and some scales and stuff. There's a lot to how to get this kind of powerful, tubular, but bright, and a lot of good intonation, brightness to the sound. Not intonation, but timbre, I meant to say, excuse me. So do it together. Okay, now what I do is, instead of going ooh straight to ooh, I use an O to create open throat technique to get me to my ooh at the height of where this is in my range. Everyone's range is different. I cover that in my course to show you where this happens in your throat depending on your range. But I'm gonna go oh ooh really quick. Listen. Oh, kind of oh, right? It's oh, because I want to seat the open throat oh first rather than going and straining to get to the ooh. I use O to get to ooh, to open the throat so I can hold it, because we build muscle memory for these vowel sounds. So ooh, ooh, I want to hear you say. He does that in the next line, right? Okay, let's move on. Now, this is a little deceiving. When I listen to his version, it sounds like he's pulling chest, because he's really, really good at this. But this, folks, is just reinforced falsetto. I'll prove it. Oh! 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 I want to hear you sing! Oh! 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 Right, and you can really hear, when you really listen to the tonality of it, it's very free in the sound. It's too free to sound like he's pulling chest up into it. He might be mixing a little bit, but not that much, okay? So that's how he does that section. So you could just practice these sections, kind of compartmentalize it, and practice them over and over again. All right, let's do the next section. Here we go. Now, a lot lot of people, they cower at this because I think it's a G, is that right? Let me oh, it's an A. So these are and for some people, they can't get to the A. And that's okay, guys. An A5 is a really high note. You go, ow! It's a really, really high note. So I'm gonna ask you first to go to the G and practice this. Ow! You know, try do that first a few times, then kind of make it up to the G sharp and make it up to the A. But I go ahead and I do this here because I've been doing it a while and I'm able to get to these spaces. I don't want to say easily, but when I practice up to it, I am. So anyway. The thing about this is why it makes this song so epic is that back in the day, I think A might have been the highest note anyone had hit at that time. So I don't care if it's Steelheart singing She's Gone or whatever, most of those notes are G or G sharp. 5, but the A5 hitting it that high was extraordinary. So for him to belt this out over and over again back in the early 70s was no one had ever done it before. Not even Steven Tyler and Dream On or any of the things that are notorious for having these high notes like this. So you can practice that over and over again, but like I said, it's a really high note. So what you really want to do is you want to practice first. Just start there first, you know, it's an F. And then move it up. You know, and then gradually, you know, and as you progressively get better at this, then you'll eventually be able to hit these kinds of notes as you're moving on. But it takes some practice to stretch the chords. Now, I want to emphasize one more important thing. As you guys know, I'm a baritone. I am a baritone, okay? And my highest note, according to bel canto, which is opera, is supposed to be this note. Hey! Not so I'm not supposed to be able to hit the octave of that or anything near that. So for all of you that have been thinking that you're going to relegate yourself, this is the only amount of range that I've ever had or will ever have, that is nonsense. I had to work at these notes. I had to build up to these. I had to build up to these notes in order to be able to get to this range. It didn't just fall in my lap. I wasn't born with it. I had to work at this. And if you guys want it, you can work at it too. It's why I'm showing you all this. A baritone like myself singing in this range. Okay, let's continue. Here we go. Okay, now there's just a solo. Let's get past this solo.
Child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between good and bad.
Now, on this section, I opted to do something a little different than him. He is singing, like I said, in a very theatrical voice, and I personally wanted to go ahead and make it a little bit more soulful and have a little more girth. So instead of going, sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and bad. I chose to girth it up a little bit and go, sweet child in time, you'll see the light. By the way, that happens too when I'm trying to compress and get a little distortion out. So that wasn't so much a mistake as much as me trying to lean into it without warming up. Like I said, I haven't warmed up today. So I'll do it again. A sweet child in time, you'll see the light. I want to get a little bit of that grit, so I had kind of a little fry to the sound. A line that's drawn between good and bad, baby, baby. So, you know, see the blind man shooting at the world, bullets flying, taking toll. Okay, now let's play the track. Here we go.
See the blind man.
Oh, by the way, I remember when I did this version, And I try to do these in one take contiguously and then leave it. And then as I come back, I decide I'll do maybe 4 or 5 takes or something and then decide, okay, that's the one I want to keep. It's really tough because if you chirp or make a mistake like that, you go, oh, crap. And you have to sing the whole song over again. It's just the most miserable, irritating thing. So if I don't get it on like the second, third, fourth take or whatever, I'll go back and I'll warm up some more. I'll go drink some green tea and I'll come back and try it again. I won't sit there and beat myself up, and I'm not going to do 10 takes of a song because it's just kind of silly. If I'm not getting it right, it means I'm doing something wrong. All right. So I want to emphasize that if I'm not getting to a certain place vocally, knowing what I know about warming up in certain spaces, then I realize, okay, I'm not in that timbre of sound or pitch in the sound, and I'll come back and re-warm up the voice for specific sections I'm having trouble with, and have that be the template by which I do the entire song. Does that make sense?
Shooting at the world, bullets flying, taking toll.
Baby Coverdale, taking toll, baby.
If you've been bad, Lord, I bet you have.
Now, I resisted it because people said, they'd say, oh, that's not Ian Gillan, he wouldn't have done it. But I want to go, if you've been bad, Lord, I know you have, yeah. I wanted to kind of like juice it up a little bit in this section. And I chose not to do that for 2 reasons. If I did it, people would say it was inauthentic and not like the original. And also that I was kind of showboating and being too much. But I wanted to sing even higher notes than the A at the end. And let me show you what I mean. Now, I'm not warmed up to do this. I normally warm up to a C6 every single day. And I haven't done that today. So I can sing the A's without warming up, kind of. But singing the C6 is a little problematic until I've warmed up for about an hour to do this. But check this out.
You've not been hit, by flying lead. You better close your eyes.
Yeah.
Bow your head. Wait for the ricochet.
You see how I kind of, I kind of heavied it up a little bit here. So I wanted to blues it up. But again, he wasn't really bluesy. He was kind of straight. Again, and very Broadway on the sound. So. Doing the harmony. See, I'm kind of like sprucing it up because I feel like, guys, if you're going to grade me, and I want that, I want you to grade yourself too. I gave you the bulk of the song exactly the way he did it. And like I've always said to you, I never really want to do a cover unless I can contribute something to it. I don't want to do it just like the original. I want to do it like me with this in the spirit of the original, okay, and the intent and intention of the original. But I also want to contribute, right? So here's what I do. I just did something. Right, I'm adding Ken Tamplin to it. All right, here we go. Here's the notes. Okay, so again. That's the A, and watch what I do to it. I want to contribute, and I figured, okay, if that was the gold standard back in the day of people singing these notes, and there's a few people doing this. Dimash is one that he sings way higher than I do, but in the rock world of singing stuff like this, very few people do this. What's coming up? Here we go. Okay, so, that's the C6 all the way up in the falsetto register. Now, again, remember, the reason I'm bringing that up isn't just to say, oh, awesome Ken Tamplin is. It's to point out, folks, I was a baritone. I am a baritone. I'm able to take my voice and stretch it to these places because I've learned how to do this. It didn't fall in my lap. I had to work on it, and you too can work on this as well. So if you guys are interested, I have a singing course, KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com. You can check it out here. I have a free singing forum over there with over 25,000 people. You guys can get it right here and get the goods on how to get to these places, okay? Thank you for joining me, and definitely stick around for my next video.